All right, deep divers, get ready, because today we are diving into the world of the Marauders.
Moony, Wormtail, Padfoot, and Prongs.
That's right.
We've got so much to uncover about these guys.
Yeah, we've got excerpts from the book, chapter study guides, even some FAQs.
All pointing to their secrets and their impact on Hogwarts.
Oh yeah, get ready for some serious aha moments.
What's really fascinating is how their story,
It's like a puzzle, right?
yeah, like a puzzle, revealing unexpected connections and hidden depths.
It's more than pranks and mischief.
Oh, for sure. It delves into friendship, loyalty.
And big choices.
Yeah, weighty choices.
Okay, so let's start with a shocker.
A real shocker.
Remember Scabbers?
Ron's pet rat.
Yes. Sirius Black and Remus Lupin.
They drop a bomb.
They say that Scabbers is actually Peter Pettigrew,
Alive and well.
disguised as an animagus.
It flips the script.
Completely.
Everyone thinks Pettigrew died.
12 years ago.
At the hands of Sirius, no less.
But then
We have the Marauders map,
Oh yeah, the map.
clearly showing Peter's name right there in the Shrieking Shack.
And the map?
Never lies.
Let's talk about a plot twist.
Oh, yeah.
But wait,
There's more.
it gets even more interesting.
Hermione.
Smart as always.
Oh, absolutely.
Which brings up a good point.
What's that?
Pettigrew's name isn't on the Ministry's record of animagi.
Interesting.
How is that possible?
Well, that's where things get intriguing. James, Sirius, and Peter, they became animagi in secret.
Under the Ministry's radar.
Totally unauthorized.
Wow, a dangerous secret.
Very dangerous.
The Ministry has strict control over that kind of magic.
Transforming into an animal.
It's complicated.
Sorry. And the Ministry keeps a close watch for a reason.
And the reason behind all of this,
It all comes back to Remus Lupin,
because he was
a werewolf.
actions.
Really show how close they were.
Imagine the fear and isolation Lupin faced.
Every month during his transformations,
To help him,
they became animagi.
they mastered a dangerous magic.
All so they could be with him.
Talk about going above and beyond for your friends.
That's true friendship.
So let's talk about their nicknames.
Which are more than just cool names.
Oh yeah, they're connected to their animagus forms.
Right.
We've got Moony,
For Remus Lupin, the werewolf.
then there's Wormtail.
Peter Pettigrew, the rat.
Makes sense.
It does.
And of course we have Padfoot, the black dog.
reflecting Sirius Black.
And finally, Prongs, the stag.
For James Potter.
It's fascinating how the animal forms fit their personalities.
Like foreshadowing their roles.
A stag.
Noble and strong, just like James.
Sirius is the black dog.
Loyal and protective, just like he is with Harry.
Wormtail.
Well, let's just say the rat fits Peter's choices.
And they use those forms to roam around Hogwarts and Hogsmeade,
Creating the Marauders map,
cementing their status as mischief makers.
for sure.
Speaking of Hogsmeade,
What about it?
the Shrieking Shack.
Oh yeah, everyone thought it was haunted.
But it turns out...
It was Lupin's safe place during his transformations.
So the Shrieking Shack,
A symbol of fear and misunderstanding.
because people fear what they don't understand.
Exactly.
But for Lupin, it was a sanctuary,
Connected to Hogwarts by a secret tunnel.
guarded by the Whomping Willow.
That's right.
That tree had some serious anger issues
But it had a good reason.
to keep people away from Lupin.
During his transformations.
And those rumors about it being haunted.
An extra layer of protection for Lupin.
And then there's Snape.
Who?
Didn't really like Lupin.
They had a lot of history.
Oh, yeah.
Snape's dislike for Lupin stemmed from that prank by Sirius.
The one that almost put Snape face to face with Lupin.
As a werewolf.
To fuel their
A
tension.
blink beyond Hogwarts.
Past actions can have lasting consequences.
Oh, they certainly can.
So Snape's feelings.
Rooted in that experience.
But we can't forget Sirius.
He put Snape's life at risk.
It's not something to be dismissed.
You're right.
Speaking of questionable choices,
What do you mean?
let's talk about Peter Pettigrew. Why would he betray his friends?
That's the big question, isn't it?
A betrayal that hurts?
Especially after everything they did for Lupin.
The sources don't say why he did it.
But we can guess.
Maybe he wanted power.
Maybe he was afraid.
Maybe he chose himself over his friends.
Whatever the reason.
His betrayal changed everything.
Led to James and Lily's deaths.
And Sirius going to prison?
It's heartbreaking, especially for Harry.
He lost so much because of Pettigrew.
It shows how even the strongest friendships can break.
Trust is so fragile.
And when it's broken,
The damage is deep.
it's a real shame.
So we have bravery and loyalty.
And betrayal and deception.
A real mix of emotions.
The Marauders story has it all.
Highlighting the difficult choices we all face.
Choices that make us who we are.
All of
This
this.
happening in a magical world.
A world full of wonder and danger.
But even with magic,
The human heart is the most powerful force.
It really is.
One thing that always gets me,
What's that?
the Marauders map.
Ah, yes.
Such a clever creation.
How did they make it?
It shows how talented they were.
They were, weren't they?
James, with his daring spirit.
Probably led the project.
Sirius knew the castle so well.
He was key to mapping everything,
And Remus the strategist.
making sure they didn't miss anything.
What about Peter?
What about him?
What did he do for the map?
We don't know for sure.
Maybe he was good with charms.
Or understood the magic of parchment and ink?
Even the smallest member of the team.
Can play a big part.
I wonder if the map made them closer.
Imagine them working together,
Late nights, brainstorming.
sharing their frustrations and triumphs.
It's in those moments.
That friendships grow.
And the map survived,
All those years.
ending up in Harry's hands,
Like a piece of them lives on.
influencing events even now.
That's a good way to put it.
The map,
A symbol of their legacy.
a connection to the past.
Showing how they still impact the present.
It's a reminder
Of what?
that even with loss and betrayal,
Yes.
the bonds of friendship leave a mark.
They do.
And the Marauders' actions,
They still shape things.
even after they're gone,
How so?
like of a Sirius.
Go on.
If not for the map,
Yeah.
Harry might never have learned the truth.
Or helped Sirius escape.
Exactly.
The map helped Harry in so many ways.
To learn about his parents.
And what happened to them?
It's like the Marauders are guiding him,
Through the magic.
giving him a glimpse into their lives.
That's a powerful thought.
It shows how our actions live on.
The legacy we leave behind.
The Marauders made mistakes,
That's true.
but they were still important.
To Harry's story.
It all comes back to their characters.
So complex.
More than just pranksters,
Or rule breakers.
loyal friends, talented wizards,
Flawed, but human.
and their choices.
Had huge consequences.
As we delve deeper
We'll see even more.
of their complexities.
Stay tuned, deep divers.
There's so much more to come.
It really makes you think about rule breakers.
Yeah,
We see them as trouble,
usually.
but here they are breaking rules for their friend.
Out of compassion.
Oh, yeah, makes you wonder.
About what?
About blind obedience.
Yeah.
Is it always right?
Especially with
Of choice.
ethical dilemmas.
Exactly.
Really challenges
What's a challenge?
our ideas about the good guys.
Right.
Yeah.
So-called troublemakers?
Who'd be the most loyal.
That's true.
But let's go back to Snape for a second.
Okay.
Why was he so fixated on Lupin?
On his disappearances.
Yeah, every month.
Well, Snape saw how close they all were.
The Marauders.
Yeah.
He probably felt left out.
Maybe a little.
And he didn't like James.
Probably a mix of envy.
And James teasing him.
Right.
That dislike spread to Lupin.
Especially after he saw
Madame Pomfrey.
taking Lupin to the Whomping Willow.
His curiosity got the better of him.
Maybe some resentment, too.
And that's where Sirius's prank comes in.
One where he
Told Snape how to get past the Whomping Willow
setting him up
for a dangerous encounter.
with a werewolf.
It was reckless
Scary.
and dangerous.
Yep.
Sirius wasn't thinking about Snape's safety.
No, he wasn't.
Thankfully, James stepped in,
Saved Snape's life.
but it left a mark on Snape.
Physically and emotionally.
It makes sense why he resented Lupin.
Even though Lupin didn't plan it,
So, Snape's feelings are understandable,
to a point,
but Sirius was irresponsible.
he put Snape in danger.
We can't just ignore that.
No, we can't.
Speaking of bad choices,
Oh.
let's talk about Peter Pettigrew.
The betrayer.
Why would he do that to
Oh,
his friends?
That's the million-galleon question.
It's a deep betrayal.
After everything they did for Lupin,
It's tough.
the sources don't say why.
No, they don't.
But we can speculate.
Yeah.
Maybe Voldemort offered him power.
Or maybe he was scared.
Maybe he chose self-preservation.
Over loyalty.
That's possible.
Whatever the reason.
It had terrible consequences.
For everyone.
James and Lily died.
Sirius went to prison.
And Harry,
He lost so much.
because of Pettigrew?
It's a sad reminder
Of what?
that even the best friendships can break.
They can.
Trust is precious
It is.
and fragile.
When it breaks,
It hurts.
it leaves a scar.
So we see incredible loyalty.
And horrible betrayal.
It's a mix.
Of good and bad.
The Marauder's story has it all,
It's
showing us the hard choices we face.
the choices that shape us.
And all of this
happening in this magical world.
full of wonder,
And danger.
but even with magic.
It's the human heart that matters most.
Absolutely.
It's a powerful force.
Something that always amazes me.
What's that?
The Marauder's map.
Oh, the map!
That's brilliant.
It is, isn't it?
How did they create something so magical?
They were talented, that's for sure.
Each with unique skills. James was daring and innovative.
He probably led the project.
Sirius knew all the secret passages.
He helped map the castle,
And Remus, the strategist.
making sure everything was perfect.
What about Peter?
We don't know much about his role,
Maybe he was good with charms.
or understood the magic of the materials.
Even the smallest contributions matter. That's true.
I wonder if making the map brought them closer.
Working together like that,
Late nights, brainstorming.
sharing frustrations and triumphs.
It builds bonds.
For sure.
And the map survived
All those years.
to end up with Harry,
It's like a piece of them living on.
influencing the story even now.
That's a good way to think about it.
The map is their legacy,
A connection to their past.
and it shows how much they still matter.
Even after they're gone.
Speaking of legacy,
What about it?
their actions still affect Harry's life.
How so?
Like with Sirius.
Tell me more.
Without the map,
Yeah.
Harry wouldn't know the truth.
About Sirius.
Yes, and he couldn't have helped him escape.
You're right.
The map was crucial for Harry
It helped him understand his parents.
and everything that happened
It's like the Marauders are guiding him,
through the map
showing him their world.
and the choices they made.
It's a powerful idea.
Our actions have a lasting impact.
They really do.
We leave a mark on the world.
The Marauders, they made mistakes.
But they were important to Harry.
It all comes back to who they were.
They were complex.
More than just pranksters.
Or rule breakers.
They were loyal
Talented.
and ultimately flawed.
All of us.
Their choices had consequences.
Good and bad.
As we learn
How
more,
about the Marauders?
we see how complicated they were. As we learn more about the Marauders,
Yeah.
one thing that stands out, the weight of their choices. Especially for Remus Lupin.
Lupin.
He carries so much guilt.
He does, doesn't he?
It's like his werewolf identity.
Yeah.
It's a metaphor
For what?
for the burdens we all carry.
It's the secrets we keep.
The fear of judgment.
Exactly.
One night a month.
Literally.
And the rest of the time.
We lived with the stigma.
The fear.
It must have been so lonely.
Isolating.
But he found acceptance.
With his friends.
James, Sirius, and Peter.
They didn't judge him.
They embraced him.
Flaws and all.
They gave him a sense of normalcy. A place to belong.
But then,
The betrayal.
the people he trusted.
Kept a secret from him.
Peter's allegiance to Voldemort.
It's a double betrayal.
First, being labeled a monster.
Then, the deception.
From his closest friends.
A harsh lesson.
About trust.
And betrayal.
Lupin's story shows us
What does it show us?
that even in close friendships,
Yeah.
secrets can have terrible consequences.
They can tear people apart.
It makes you think about responsibility.
How so?
Lupin blames himself
For what?
for his friends becoming animagi,
Unregistered animagi.
for not telling the truth about Sirius
He feels responsible.
or their choices,
Both as individuals.
and as a group.
It's a big question.
What is?
How much responsibility do we have?
For our friends' actions.
Is loyalty blind allegiance?
Or do we hold each other accountable?
It's a tough question.
Lupin's guilt.
It shows the struggle.
Between our values.
And our loyalty.
It makes you wonder
About what?
if they had been more open.
More on?
Could things have been different?
It's possible.
Open communication is so important,
In any relationship.
especially with trust and loyalty.
The Marauders story.
It's a cautionary tale
About secrecy.
and facing the truth.
No matter how hard it is.
So after all this,
After our deep dive.
what can we learn from the Marauders?
Beyond the magic and adventure.
What matters most?
I think it's about friendship.
The power of it
The complexities of loyalty.
and betrayal.
And making choices.
Choices that reflect our values.
The Marauders story.
With all its twists and turns.
Its highs and lows.
It shows us what it means to be human.
Even in a world of magic.
Our choices have real consequences.
They shape who we are.
And it leaves us with a question.
A question to ponder.
If you could go back in time,
And talk to the Marauder.
what advice would you give them?
Think about it, deep divers.
Keep exploring. Keep questioning.
And keep diving deep.